All right, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of our Madden 25 Connected Franchise Owner Mode Fantasy Draft Ralph Wilson Buffalo Bills YouTube series. What? Today is Happy Friday, episode number 80, and we are at home against the Oakland Raiders of the AFC West. We got an East against West battle today, and it is going to be a happy day indeed, because it is Friday, and Friday is a happy day. And hopefully we can accompany that happy day with a win that will send our squad to 9-1, the top team in the NFL. And if paired with the Jets' loss, a team that will be just a handful of weeks away from clinching the AFC East for the second consecutive season. Currently, we are just 2 games ahead of the Jets. However, with a Buffalo Bills win and a Jets loss, we could be just 3 games away from winning this division, depending, of course, on the play of the Jets. But that's getting ahead of ourselves. Today, it's all about the Raiders, who we've yet to see in this fantasy draft world. And so we will see what their roster looks like in a moment. We're gonna start this game off by kicking, as we typically like to do. We have a lot of Raiders on this team, by the way. Jason Hunter playing against his real-life team. Miles Burris playing against his real-life team. Jacoby Ford playing against his real-life team. And those are just a handful of guys off the top of my head. There could be more. Or at least certainly guys who have spent time in Oakland. And with that Greg the Leg touchback, we'll go ahead and check out the Oakland Raiders depth chart. Josh Cribbs, their returner, another real-life Raider. And look at this, Brock Osweiler and Ryan Mallett, the 2 quarterbacks for the Oakland Raiders. So even in real life, or even in just like real life, in this world, the Raiders struggling to find a quarterback. Osweiler, just 23 years of age, 69 speed, 79 overall. Maurice Jones-Drew is hurt as the top running back for this Raiders squad, and so Tashard Choice is the running back, 85 speed. Robert Turbin of the real-life Seattle Seahawks, the backup. He's got a little more speed to him. Mike Tolbert, very nice fullback. Josh Cribbs is this team's top receiver, 78 overall. Brad Smith, Jaron Younger, a rookie, and Mohamed Sanu make up the rest of that list. None of them with breakaway speed, none of them taller than 6'2". So we'll see how that plays out. Tyler Eifert is the tight end, 85 overall, 82 speed, while Clay Harbor is the backup. Let's take out this offensive line. Joe Thomas, arguably the best best left tackle in the entire league. Their starting left tackle. Charlie Johnson, the left guard. Nick Mangold, one of the best centers in the league of the real-life New York Jets at the center spot. Mike Brasil, the right guard. And Lane Johnson would be the right tackle, but Ben Ijalana will be the right tackle today, 77 overall. Hopefully Thaddeus Gibson can take advantage of that. Now, given that this team has not exactly a boatload of talent on the offensive side of the ball, given their 82 overall rating, they have to have some talent here. We'll take a look. Michael Bennett, the left end. Robert Ayers, the right end of the defensive tackle spots. Jarrell Casey and Kendall Langford. All 4 of those linemen, a lot of talent. Donta Hightower, one outside linebacker. Michael Kendricks, the other one in the middle. We got Sean Weatherspoon. Not a dominant linebacking core, but a fairly good one. D'Angelo Hall, Stephen Gilmore, Josh Robinson, and Jonathan Banks. The corners, a lot of speed there. Both Robinson and Hall with 97 speed, though not a lot of size. Michael Huff, 85 overall, as the free safety, and Bernard Pollard, 93, as the strong safety. The kicker is Garrett Hartley, and Robert Malone is the punter. And so an interesting squad here from the Raiders. A lot of talent in the defensive backfield, a lot of talent along the defensive line, and a couple of really elite offensive linemen as well. Interesting team makeup. Obviously, they're missing their biggest asset, which would be Maurice Jones-Drew, particularly when you pair Drew with that outstanding offensive line. So we'll see how things play out here. They start off by giving it to Choice, who's got a little bit of room. He runs over Thaddeus Gibson and then is wrapped up by Sanford, Bostic, Wilfork, and company for a gain of just 2 yards. We'll get things underway here on 2nd and 8. 1-1-3 coming out for the Raiders. And so we're going to go ahead, spread out our defensive line, go edge rush, try and get some pressure here. Osweiler is in the gun. He's got choice to his left, 3 receivers to his right, including the tight end. And that is where he goes. Eifert hit by Durant. Durant escorts him out of bounds for a gain of what looks to be 3 yards, setting up what should be 3rd and 5. No, it's 3rd and 6. So just 2 yards for Eifert on that play. 2 solid defensive plays to start this game. First, Sanford with the smash mouth tackle on the running back. And you can see there Brock Osweiler just completing 39.9% of his passes, 730 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks. Not exactly gangbusters. And here Younger drops the ball, had it on the quick slant move, had Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie in his back pocket, who forces the drop. And so we are going to be able to force a 3-and-out here from the Raiders, who are going to have to punt here from their own 9-yard line, 4th and 6. And we're going to get lots of guys back to help block for Gino Castro on this play. Castro will see if he can get around the right side, trying to use his speed. Number 27 chasing him to the very edge. And he does get a block. Gino Castro up the sideline, 1 man to beat, and Castro's gone. Castro gets around everybody for his first punt return touchdown of his career. And I believe, folks, after many returns over lengths of 50, 60, 70 yards, that is our first return touchdown of this season. We've had return touchdowns in practice before, but never in a game, and that is phenomenal. That'll have to be our thumbnails. You can see here McCann and Thomas, the 2 guys who get good blocks at the point of attack, and then Castro just does an amazing job using his speed to get around. And instead of being able to dive, Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie gets over there. Chris Connie now gets a huge block here. And bada bing, bada boom. Give credit. Look at this. Chris Connie with a great block, following Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie. Then right here, you'll see, I believe that's Basman Hooker. No, that is Drake Kirkpatrick getting a heck of a block here to spring Castro. Castro getting all the blocks he needs. And I think this dive with the wake of defenders has to be our thumbnail. I don't know about you guys, but to me, this is just too hysterical to not be at. There we go. Gino Castro kicking off the scoring in this one just over a minute in. The defense steps up huge, forcing the immediate 3-and-out. And then the special teams unit comes up huge, springing Castro. Great blocks down the sideline from, my goodness, Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie, from Connie, from Kirkpatrick. And that is, I'm okay with the game starting this way. Just in case you're wondering, I'm okay with this. I'll accept this result and do so with a smile on my face. So here we go. Osweiler into the game for just 3 plays. Steps off for approximately 4 seconds, and then has to come back out. Here he's got 3 receivers to his left, choice to his right in the gun, and he's going to the air. A couple quick slant plays, and Eifert is the intended receiver, catches it, but he's wrapped up immediately by Sanford, who came up on the zone coverage to make that play. That is a 3-yard gain for Eifert and the Raiders. Another 1-1-3 formation. We're going to go ahead, go 3 down linemen. We're going to go dogs all go. Send some pressure. So we only have 3 down linemen. That'll be Hunter, Wilfork, and Gibson. But we are sending all of our linebackers and then some. And Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie gets beaten by Cribbs, who then dodges a tackle, makes another guy miss, and that's a 19-yard reception for Cribbs. Too bad. Cribbs has got a lot of speed, but Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie's got just about as much speed as anybody in this entire league. And he just got beat straight to the inside there. A nice call for the Raiders to overplay or to outplay the blitz, beat it really quickly. Osweiler standing in, making a nice play. Here he's got 4 receivers, both in snugs. Choice the running back immediately to his left, and nobody goes anywhere. The defensive line, my goodness, guys, you got to get on that. Marcus Gilchrist was in man coverage on Josh Cribbs. Osweiler stood back, quick curls across the board. Nobody was there. Nobody was open. Finally, Cribbs made a double move, got open, but that should have been our defensive line eating Osweiler for lunch. That should have been a coverage sack. This happened yesterday in practice, I recall, And it's happened here as well. Defensive line letting us down. Instead of 2nd and long, the Raiders find themselves in 1st and 10. Osweiler going long here. Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie undercuts the route, just not able to pick it off. Thomas was there as well. So that play is nicely defended. Still not a lot of pressure coming from our defensive line. Come on, boys. I know that we're missing Bruce Irvin, but we got to do better than that. We're going to go ahead here on this play, get all defensive ends in, go ahead and hopefully get a better pass rush. Here it'll be Hunter, Ninkovich, Lane, and Gibson across the board. Let's see if that'll help us out here. We're also going to spread out, go edge rush. I formation, another pass here. Osweiler hits Eifert over the middle. That was Vontae Davis in coverage. Davis just didn't have the recovery speed, and so Eifert now with 3 receptions on this drive, 22 yards. And Osweiler suddenly has his team driving. Davis just wasn't able to get over from his corner spot. And we're going to go regular 4-3 now. Tyler Eifert again, 3 receptions, 22 yards in this game. We're going to go ahead, spread, edge rush again. I'm not going to respect the run a whole lot because the Raiders haven't shown they're willing to do it and commit to the run. Here they go ahead. Choice up for 4 yards. Vontae Davis getting his 2nd straight tackle. Choice 4 yards there. A single back run to be just a zone run on the right side. And I think we're going to respond to that with a goal line play. Just show the Raiders that we are not going to take their BS when it comes to their run game. Turbin checks in now for Choice. Tolbert the man. And Bostic is going to have a jet. And Turbin darts back to the right side, unequivocally avoiding Bostic, who had him lined up in the hole. And Turbin manages to get 4 yards on that slash back. And 2-on-2 coming out for the Raiders, but we're going to stay in goal line formation, not let them run for it. It's shotgun, Hillman and Turbin, the 2 running backs, in Eifert in the slot. We'll have to watch that. And they're going to run it to the left side. And Jamarco Thomas comes up and does what he does best, getting that great, just a little ball of hate, 5'8", probably weighs no more than 100 pounds when he's dripping wet, but comes up, fights off a man, uses his strength, and just tears down Hillman. Hillman probably would have had a solid 15-yard gain there. Instead, he loses a yard. And while the Raiders come away with a Garrett Hartley field goal, I feel as though the defense kind of won that one. Obviously, they shouldn't have given up the drive, but big advantage to the Bills for eventually putting their feet down. And here Castro gets wrapped up at his 12. My goodness, Castro looked like he was going to be able to get around the corner. Instead, the blockers lose contain, and we're starting 8 yards behind where we could have otherwise started had we gone with a touchback. It's not the end of the world, though. This is our first time our offense is stepping out onto the field. We're going to go to the air to start things off. Look for Basman Hooker, and that goes for an incompletion. Big pressure was coming off the left side. Rodgers had to get rid of it. Hooker was held up by one of the defensive linemen, and so we're going to have to go ahead, or I think we'll go to the gun here. We'll go inside cross, try and, again, I like the idea of starting off the game with these short, high-percentage passes. Obviously, the first one, a high-percentage pass that didn't go anywhere. But here, Doug Baldwin, a little drag route, and that's a nice gain, 7 yards, setting up 3rd and 3. What I love about 3rd and 3, I know you've heard me say this before, is that you can do anything you want on 3rd and 3. You can run, you can pass, you can do anything. I think on this play we're going to stand in in the shotgun and try and run it around the outside, see if we can kind of catch the defense off guard. Go ahead, flip the side so we have Hooker, the speedier back, getting a lead block from Williams, the slower back. And, I think we're going to have to change the play here. Jackson in the slot. We have both middle linebackers showing blitz. One of them blitzes, one of them stands back, and it's picked off. Weatherspoon right in the middle of the field. I saw that one come. Weatherspoon dropped back. I thought we could slot that in. Jackson just too fast for our own good. And that is the easiest interception. Unfortunately, too, we tried to pull Jackson back to have him come back to the ball. Instead, he seemed to run farther up the field. That's the easiest pick of Weatherspoon's career. Is the 6th interception of the season for Aaron Rodgers, who had 5 coming into this game. Unfortunate there. And here, double move. Eifert again open over the middle. Bostic in coverage, and all of a sudden, after the Bills went up 7-0 in one play, the Gino Castro punt return, The defense comes out unable to stop the Raiders until they're well within field goal range, and the offense comes out not only not able to get a first down, but turns over the ball. The blitz kind of freaking us out there. And here, Jamarcus Sanford misses. Durant makes the play, but not before Choice gets into the end zone. Sanford misses the ball carrier, and the Raiders have the lead. We're less than a minute into the second quarter, and since the Gino Castro punt return, just about nothing aside from a solid Shamarko Thomas tackle has gone right for the Bills. Down 10-7 here at home. Ouch. That's a tough one to swallow. Jacoby Ford now has the ball. He's returning it. Gets it up to his own 20-yard line. Nothing more. Not a lot in front of him to work with. Jacoby Ford has been particularly bad so far this year on his return since coming back from injury. This will be his seventh game since coming back from injury, and he has not had any of the magic he seemed to have last season. Here, a nice carry by Ryan Williams off the left side, gets 8 yards. And as I always like to do after throwing a pick, I don't want to come out slinging. I want to call a couple of high percentage passes and just make them. Here, Williams gets caught, and he gets a shot in the backfield, but Williams gets away, and that'll go for a 6-yard reception. And as I was saying, I like to just play it sweet and simple, run the ball a little bit, and when I do throw the ball after interception, just make sure that we throw a couple high percentage passes to just ease the quarterback back into things and not risk them making another mistake. Because I feel like one interception you can usually bounce back from, but 2 in a row, that's a different story. So here, Basman Hooker gets it off the right side, and he's going to use his speed to try and get the edge. Doesn't quite, but still a nice gain to the hole there. 5 yards off the right side up to the 39-yard line of the Bills. From there, I think we'll come back with another run right up the gut. Williams has had a breather on that play, so we'll go to the left side again. The Oakland Raiders have this huge, huge gap right now in their defensive line. Hopefully we can take advantage of that, and Williams does. He gets outside, lights up the corner, gets the first down and a little bit more. Gain of 6 will set up, gain of 7 will set up the Buffalo Bills at their own 46-yard line. We'll go Bills inside zone here. So a little bit of misdirection in the backfield. Looks like it's going to Hooker. It'll actually go to Williams to the left. And he is caught in the backfield. The blitz catches us with our pants down. 2nd and 13 coming up here. And so it's looking like we're going to have to go back to the air no matter what. Not that I'm necessarily afraid to go to the air, just would like to move the ball on the ground as long as we can. We have kind of got away from running it these past few games. And Aaron Rodgers, and that one's almost picked off too. Doug Baldwin, the only available option on his quick little inside curl. And that was a mistake. We should have just thrown the ball away. Instead, 3rd and 13 coming up here. My goodness, what do you have in your playbook for 3rd and 13? We're going to have to get creative here, I think. Play around with some routes. Deep curl. What I like about this play is it gets Doug Baldwin in the slot. Eric Baldwin in the slot. Eric Baldwin has been very good when given an opportunity, particularly in zone coverage. We're going to have to go to Darren Sproles. Can he get a block? He cannot. Gets up for a gain of 3. It looked like Jeff Cumberland might have been able to throw a block to Spring Sproles. As you can see at the point of attack, we'll see it in just about 3 seconds right there. That was Mario Manningham, not Jeff Cumberland, who is also in the area. And 3rd and 3, I think the best thing to do is call a play, wait and analyze the situation, see what the defense looks like they're throwing at you, and then make a decision. Personally, I like this. We're sending ball into the flat. I don't think the linebacker can keep up, and sure enough, they can't. Eric Baldwin stays on his feet. That's a gain of 13 to the 35-yard line of the Raiders. And we are now in field goal range. We got a fresh set of downs, and that will probably be the last play before the 2-minute warning. Here we go, 2-minute warning, but still, Buffalo Bills in decent position here, holding on to the football, running it pretty well today, certainly better than last game against the Chiefs, where until the last minutes of the game, we really struggled to move the ball at all. Here, Ryan Williams has hit the corner coming in. That's D'Angelo Hall coming in for run support, and Williams gets nothing on that carry. I don't necessarily mind that because it keeps the clock running, but would have been nice to get something for that carry here. We're going to go ahead, run the screen pass to Basman Hooker. We'll have to keep an eye on how Eric Baldwin looks in the slot, but we're going to give it to Hooker, who's got some nice blocks set up. And, oh, unfortunately, Luis Vasquez just cannot maintain his block. Vasquez, number 65, you can see out there, lost his block on number 99 of the Raiders. Basman Hooker could still be running if that block had been just placed and held properly. Instead, we're going to have to convert here on 3rd and 6. We have some quick slants here, and, oh, beauty. Deshaun Jackson doubles back. He's going to have a chance. He dives, not able to get to the end zone, but he's down to the 2-yard line on the quick slant play. What a beautiful route there. We're going to watch the replay because there's plenty of time left for us now that we are officially in the red zone. Jackson just finds the perfect play, makes a nice double move to the outside, and eventually gets wrapped up. And, hey, what I like about that play is the reason we threw the pick was because we were not able to anticipate properly the placement of the linebacker who is dropping back into zone coverage with the slant to Jackson. And this time we get it perfect. Aaron Rodgers throws it to the perfect place, and that's wonderful. Now, on this play, we're just going to run it once. So what I like about this is we have 4 cracks to get it in. We have 3 timeouts. So we want to run off all the time we can so that the Oakland Raiders can't call their can't have a ton of time to work with once they get the ball back. And Ryan Williams gets in on the first crack from 2 yards out. A nice carry there, puts his head down. Nice blocking, and the Buffalo Bills take the lead again, making up for the interception on the last play, even converting a 4th down on that drive to make it 14-10 with 25 seconds left in the half. We will kick it off to the Raiders. Hopefully we can avoid a return of basically any kind, and from there have the Raiders run up the clock so we can start off the second half with the ball and put a scoring drive together. That'll be the hope anyways. We'll see how that pans out. The Raiders do have all 3 of their timeouts to play with, so we'll see how this works. They have 3 receivers to the left side, Choice is in the backfield. We're going to go ahead, control Bostic, try and get some extra run protection. Choice gets a nice carry up the gut, and the Raiders are going to use their timeout, an 11-yard carry before Shamarko Thomas could stand in and make that play. 20 seconds left in the half at their own 31. Raiders have 2 timeouts left. We'll see how this plays out. Our defensive line right now, Worrells, Wilfork, and Gibson, kind of the down linemen. Technically, Worrells is not a down lineman, though he will go against the left tackle on this blitz. And the Raiders generally go short, and John Bostic knocks it down. A nice play by him. That'll set up 2nd and 10, taking 4 seconds off the clock. The clock will stop, and that was a play that looked to be intended for Younger, the slot receiver, number 89. There you have it. Nice play by Bostic, standing in zone coverage and just making that play, taking the middle of the field away, which is what any middle linebacker should be able to do, particularly on a pass play like that. Here, Bostic's in man coverage on Eifert, and he makes the play really nicely, stays behind Eifert, hits him as the ball arrives, but not a second earlier, and causes the play to be broken up. That will mean the Raiders have a 3rd and 10 here to convert with 14 seconds left. And you know what? With all of our timeouts remaining, if the Raiders are unable to convert here, we can call a timeout regardless of the situation, stop the clock, and that'll mean that Gino Castro gets another opportunity to return another punt. And, hey, we all know the Raiders would not be a fan of that. And Osweiler has all day to stand and finally gets hit. That looked to be Vince Wilfork making a beautiful play to finally pick up the sack. My goodness, our DBs have played pretty well today across the board. Finally nice to see us get the opportunity to get a sack, get in there, make a nice play. With that being said, Gino Castro is going to get another opportunity here to return a punt. Hopefully we can use his speed to get around the outside, and, well, we'll see how this goes. The punt is right to the middle of the field. Castro's got some nice blocks set up, and he's got some room. The clock has expired, and he's not able to get past the 39-yard line, but still a nice return for Castro. A nice job by our defense at the end of the half to make that play. There's John Bostic showing you how muscular he is. And we're going to go ahead and return this kick. Up 14-10, we have the lead. Jacoby Ford going to be the returner here on this one. He's got 5 blockers up front and he gets nailed at the 22-yard line. Number 21 of the Raiders just flew in, knocked him a mile back. That's okay. We'll go ahead, go single back. I'd like to get Darren Sproles into this game a little bit. We don't want to. People say all that, or I shouldn't say they say it all the time, but I get comments every once in a while. People are like, trade Sproles. And the reality is, first of all, I would say that there just isn't much value for Darren Sproles on the open market because he's a running back over 30. He's really not going to merit much of a return. Maybe we can get a 6th-round pick for him or something. But my issue with that also is that Darren Sproles, as much as we go, I wouldn't say extended periods of time, but every once in a while we seem to forget about him in our attack. He has a lot of value and a lot of things he can. And Jeff Cumberland, get your hands up in front of your face. Jeff Cumberland takes a football to the face there that he should have caught. My goodness, come on, buddy. With that being said, Darren Sproles still plays an important part in this offensive attack. To me, one of our most important offensive weapons because he's such a wonderful change of pace who can do so many things. Here, the Raiders showing safety blitz. I'd like to hit Eric Baldwin in the slot. If that happens, at beauty. It happens. Eric Baldwin just sits right down in front of the other safety. The free safety would come over. Aaron Rodgers having probably his worst game of the season so far. Completing 2/3 of his passes, but has less than 100 yards and a pick. No touchdowns. Hopefully we can see him pick up those numbers. And we're going to get Sproles into the game here as a ball carrier. There's this nice cutback play. Whereas as long as we can hold for the first split second, Sproles should be able to use his speed and his agility to get outside. And we do hold really nicely. Sproles working back inside now. That's a gain of 5 yards. Nice carry for Sproles. That's just, I think, his 3rd carry of the season. Sproles has been back from injury for just a couple of games. And he's had a decent game so far today. Had a nice catch for a first down earlier. Wasn't able to do much on the screenplay, but a nice carry there. And there we go to Eric Baldwin, who's got the ball, makes one man miss. And he has 3 catches for 43 yards. 2 of those catches coming on this drive right here. Baldwin showing why he is likely to be named the top offensive rookie in the AFC this year. Here we're going on that same cutback play to Darren Sproles. We're going to reverse the flow of the field, and Ben Grubbs gets a nice block. Sproles up there for a gain of 4. Nice job by him. From there, I think we're going to keep on the ground. We're going to go back to the strong formation so we can get Basman Hooker in to try and go around the offense. And this is something I'm a big fan of, is getting all your running backs involved. Basman Hooker tries to get up the outside, cannot do it. Could not outrun number 54. That was Kendricks. Goes for just a gain of 2, but that still sets us up 3rd and short, 3rd and 4 upcoming here. 3:06 left in the 3rd quarter. Man, it would have been nice if Basman Hooker was able to get around that outside linebacker. Not able to, not the end of the world though. Here we're going to be able to try and hit one of our running backs, and there you go. Darren Sproles makes a catch, and he gets another first down. Sproles showing his resilience, his wonderful catching ability, getting the first down, setting us up 1st and 10 at the 27-yard line, buying us a new set of downs. Beautiful play, and we'll get Basman Hooker on the ground here. The Raiders, and this is something that, could be a disaster, could be a good thing. The Raiders kind of showing blitz here, but if we can get past the first wave of defenders, Hooker could go for a long gain, and there he goes! Up for a gain of 11, right up the gut. Had he been one more step to the left, could have scored a touchdown straight up the field. Nice play there. It's a very all or nothing proposition when you run your defense that way. When your defense, makes that kind of play, to be basically cover 0, nobody in the backfield, like a safety or anything else. You need to be able to make that play. And oh no! Weatherspoon makes another pick. Weatherspoon drops back. I did not see him. Aaron Rodgers makes the tackle, but my goodness, that's frustrating. 2 picks for Rodgers today. His second 2-pick game of the year. And that's frustrating. Deshaun Jackson was open in the end zone, but the route was stale. I should not have thrown that ball. Frustrating. You can see here he's come open. The safety, he's going to undercut the safety, but unfortunately, at this point, Weatherspoon was already way back, and you can see here the safety. Actually, I think Jackson was ahead enough, but frustrating. 2 picks. Coming into this game, Aaron Rodgers had 5 in 9 games, barely more than half an interception a game. Today, he's got 2, and we're not even into the fourth quarter yet. Unbelievable. Double frick. Here comes Choice off the right side, and there's a nice play. Vontae Davis cracking down on the run, much like D'Angelo Hall did earlier. And the Buffalo Bills, we have our 4-point lead, but our offense turning over the ball again, putting a lot of pressure on our defense. Granted, it was in the red zone, and so the Raiders have a long field to deal with, but still, that's disappointing. Our number one philosophy on offense is you don't turn the ball over. We've done that twice today. Here's Sanford in coverage on Eifert. Worlds makes the tackle, but Sanford could have jumped that route. Almost had it, didn't. Not athletic enough to make that play, out of position. And you can see the numbers here. Osweiler's numbers pretty stinky, but not nearly as stinky as Aaron Rodgers. Having his worst game as a Buffalo Bill, I think. He's got 20 touchdowns on the season. Came into this one with 5 picks. Now he's got 7. Not pretty. Not pretty at all. Here's Sanford. And wide open, Eifert in coverage against, working against Justin Durant, who was in coverage. And Eifert gets his 6th catch of the year. And just like that, bada bing, bada boom, Raiders are past the midfield stripe with the third quarter coming to a close. 6 minutes left in this entire game. We'll see how the Bills defense comes out here. Right now they are reeling, just unable to get any pressure on Osweiler. Not doing a nice job, particularly against Tyler Eifert, the tight end, who's been eating our lunch so far today. Sanford going deep coverage. We got 3 deep in zone, and Eifert comes across there. Davis out of position. Cribbs makes the catch. That's good for a 17-yard gain. The Raiders officially now in field goal range. 5:51 left in the quarter. Very unfortunate. My goodness. The way this game started out, I did not suspect we'd be in this position. I'll just say that and leave that at that. Sanford in man coverage on Eifert, and Osweiler throws it up, and Thomas comes down with it in the end zone. A beautiful pick for Shamarko, a.k.a. Sharknado. Thomas and Osweiler just threw that one up to Cribbs. That was a stale route. Vontae Davis probably would have had the pick if Thomas didn't. And so the Raiders give us a great gift right there, returning the favor of Aaron Rodgers throwing it up stupidly into the end zone, doing it themselves. They're here. Basman Hooker goes off the right side. He's got a nice carry for 7 yards. He's averaging more than 6 yards a carry so far in today's game. Nice play for that. We're going to go ahead, go to the I formation here, pounded up the gut with Ryan Williams. We'd like to slow play this drive. Less than 5 minutes in the, left in the game, up by 4. We can afford to take a lot of time off the clock, and Williams there bumps it outside, gets a 2-yard gain before getting whacked by Kendricks, who's got a very impressive 8 tackles on the day. With that being the case, we'll be able to just run it up the gut here, I think, and try and get that first down. Just under a yard, I think, left to go on this 3rd and 1. And Williams fumbles the ball, picked up by Michael Huff, the safety, who's going to score a touchdown. Wow. Wow. Just wow. Williams hit by the blitzing. Who is that? That was number 31, I think it is, of the Raiders, who just came in, found a nice little hole. Part of that problem being that Marcus Gilbert, the right tackle, is out of position. We also should not have moved away. Pardon me for misreading some of that play. We should have followed John Kuhn instead of bouncing out. Wow. Unbelievable. So Ryan Williams, who had fumbleitis earlier this season, has fumbleitis rear its ugly head again. And the Raiders have taken the lead with 4 and a bit minutes left. 4:15 left on the clock. Raiders up 3 now. And it is dead silent in this Buffalo Stadium. The Bills have not lost at home in just over a year and a half. They've never lost in this building, which I believe they're 4-0. This ball coming down to Jacoby Ford at his own 2-yard line. The Buffalo Bills offense is going to have to put together a drive here to hopefully put a touchdown on the board. They're down a field goal. to what let's be honest, is not a very impressive Raiders team. Unfortunate here. Basman Hooker's having a solid game. Darren Sproles having a solid game. Ryan Williams was having a solid game. Instead, he puts the ball on the turf, and he does it just after we upgrade his carrying ability to 93. He should be holding on to the football. Instead, he puts it on the ground. I don't think in all of last season Ronnie Brown had more than one fumble ever. And right now, Ryan Williams has 3 in 10 games. Not a good statistic at all. Fortunately for us, we get a first down immediately from Mario Manningham. Basman Hooker heads out. He's going to head out of bounds up for a 5.5-yard gain. He does not get out of bounds, but that's not the end of the world. There's plenty of time left. It would be nice to leave next to no time on the clock whenever this drive ends. Hopefully it will end in a touchdown, but of course there is no guarantee that will be the case. Eric Baldwin, the quick hitter, and it's knocked away by the defender who came up to defend that one. That was number 31, the same player who forced the fumble. Great coverage there on Baldwin, and so we have to get a first down here. Don't know if we're in fourth down territory yet in terms of whether or not we have to go for it, but it would be very nice to not have to make that decision. Darren Sproles gets stopped immediately. Darren Sproles hit quickly by the middle linebacker, and he gets stopped. And so we have a choice here. It's 4th and 2. Now, normally I'd say let's run our goal line play. Let's make that work. We've never been stopped on 4th down this season. But I don't know if I'm that confident in what our goal line stand is doing right now. I like this. We have linebackers in covering Jackson and Baldwin. The only way this could go wrong is if there's zone coverage, which there is zone coverage, but unfortunately Ryan Williams comes wide open, finding a nice hole in the zone, and that is the way to beat the zone on that play. Fortunately for us, we get up to the Raiders' 39-yard line on that play. That might have just saved us the game, and that will be the last play before the 2-minute warning. Kendricks has had an unbelievable game today. He was the guy who wrapped up Sproles on that 3rd down play. I think he has 9 tackles. We'll see in a few minutes when we look at the stats for this game. But in the meantime, Basman Hooker is going to get a chance to carry this ball. Williams be in as the lead blocker. And some nice blocking here. Hooker works his way back into the field. That's a gain of almost 10 yards. What I like about that is 2nd and inches basically gives us a free play opportunity because we can do anything we want on 2nd down. Granted that given that we have an extra play to work with. I think we're just going to go ahead, give it to Hooker again, who has been our best back today. And he fumbles the football, picked up by Eric Baldwin, but almost an absolute disaster. Hooker got popped by number 54. That was our 2nd fumble of the day. And wow, so this is a team, the Buffalo Bills, this is a team that was built to not turn the ball over. That's our philosophy. Don't turn the ball over. Hold on to the ball. Run it. Be conservative. Do good things. And here Rodgers is going to have to throw it, and he hits Williams. Wow. He hits Williams for what should be a first down. Lucky on that one. Aaron Rodgers running all over the place, scrambling for his life. And this should be a first down. Sure enough, it is. And so it's a first down. We'll call our first timeout if the game will let me. There we go. 4 seconds after I hit the button. At 1:06, we have stopped the clock. We are at the 29-yard line of the Raiders. We have 2 timeouts left, 1:06 to play with. We need a field goal to tie or a touchdown to win. And wow, so as I was saying, we have 2 picks, 2 fumbles on the day. We only lost one of the fumbles, thank goodness. But my goodness, not the blueprint we typically try to play by. Here Hooker works back his way. We try to juke past Kendricks, can't do it. And so that goes for a gain of 7. And we will, time's running out here. We have to call another play quickly. Didn't want to burn a timeout. And we're going to go ahead have Baldwin run a quick out, hopefully hit him by the sidelines. He's covered. Oh, no, the coverage gets behind him, and Baldwin makes a nice move to get up the field up to the 7-yard line. And so we are officially in goal position now with 38 seconds left. Most importantly, Baldwin's reception there stops the clock. And so we're going to have an opportunity here to go I formation. We're going to trust Williams with the football again to make a play. Why? Because, well, he has to hold on to it. We'll try and get closer to the end zone. He gets a nice hit from number 54, but he keeps his legs moving, and that's a great carry for Williams. Gets about 5 yards on that one. Clock running. It's 2nd and goal at the 1-yard line. The way I see it, we need to go for it on this down, call a quick timeout, and then we can decide what to do on 3rd and goal if that opportunity arises. Williams, we call the play. Williams gets behind his blockers, and he gets stopped at the goal line. I thought he was in for sure on that play. And just like that, there's 11 seconds left in this one. We're on 3rd and goal. I think we just need to run it in. Do the same thing. You can see there the nose of the football so close to the goal line. If we don't get in on this play, we need to call a timeout and decide what we're going to do. But until then, and there is Williams gets in with 10 seconds left in the game. Williams scores the touchdown, his 2nd of the game. Vasquez celebrating with him as the Bills take a 3-point lead, soon to be a 4-point lead here in this 4th quarter with 10 seconds left. The Raiders will have an opportunity to tie this game, or actually they cannot tie this game. To win this game with a touchdown with 10 seconds left, we're going to have to trust our defense to be able to shut the Raiders down, though. And as you can see, Ryan Williams, 10 carries, 22 yards, 2 touchdowns in today's game. Now, his pathetic average of 2.2 yards per carry is obviously skewed greatly because of how many short yardage plays he's had. However, for me, the most bothersome thing about his performance is just the 2 fumbles. We'll get back to that in a moment when we check out the ugly, ugly stats for this game. But in the meantime, we'll try and play this game out. I think undoubtedly the Raiders are going to come out here and just try and pass this one as deep as possible. And so we're going to go ahead and beat John Bostic on this play, bring him way the hell back. It is possible the Raiders can complete a pass here and then call a timeout and go for it on the next play. And Osweiler throws it way up, and that is knocked down by Vontae Davis. Nice play there by the Buffalo Bill veteran corner to knock that one down. Connie, Bostic, Davis, and Thomas back there to make the play. And with 3 seconds left, 80 yards to go, the Raiders going to do the same thing. And so for this play, we'll bring Bostic all the way back to the end zone, I think. Just get him all the way back because they're going to have to throw this one as far as they possibly can to try and get the touchdown. Sure enough, Osweiler, this ball will come down at about the 20-yard line. Cribbs goes up, unable to bring it down, and the clock expires with that incompletion. Bills win 21-17 in an ugly one here in Week 10 to advance on the season to 9-1. We'll get the recap here. And my goodness, I'm not looking forward to these stats. Here we go. 21-17 the score. Total offense 232 to 140 in favor of Buffalo. Rushing yards 64 to 37 in favor of the Bills. Passing yards again in favor of the Bills 168 to 103. First downs 12 to 8. Punt return yards 93 to nothing. Kick return yards 89-0. Total yards 414 to 140. So that's something to be proud of. Bills 414 yards is a phenomenal number. Just 140 for the Raiders. That's a hell of a performance by our defense and special teams. Kudos to them for winning us this game. Turnovers, ugly. 3 for the Bills, just 1 for the Raiders. One of those rare times where the team that loses the turnover battle actually wins the game. Third down conversions, 5 of 9 for the Bills, 0 of 3 for the Raiders. 2 of 2 on 4th down for the Bills. Red zone percentage, 2 of 3 for Buffalo, 1 of 1 for the Raiders. Time of possession, 16:02 for Buffalo, 7:58 for the Raiders. Now on to player stats, and this is going to be ugly, folks. You might want to close your eyes or just skip this part of the video. Aaron Rodgers, 57.9% quarterback rating on this one. 17 of 23 for 168. 0 touchdowns, 2 picks. Ugh. I think that's his first 0 touchdown performance of the year and his second 2-pick game of the year. Disappointing stuff. Osweiler, meanwhile, 9 of 16 for 111. 0 touchdowns, 1 pick. His numbers are what they are. Had some nice moments, but ultimately threw the game away when he threw that pick in the back of the end zone. Ryan Williams, 10 carries for 22 yards, 2 touchdowns and a fumble. Meanwhile, Basman Hooker, 6 carries for 33 yards, 0 touchdowns and a fumble. Both our running backs there with 1 fumble too many. Tashard Choice, meanwhile, 5 carries for 34 yards and a touchdown. Darren Sproles kicked in 2 for 9. And that was that. Receiving the ball, Tyler Eifert led the entire game with 6 catches for 64 yards. For the Bills, it was Eric Baldwin, 4 for 58. Darren Sproles kicked in 4 for 22. Basman Hooker, 3 for 16. Ryan Williams, 3 for 25. Deshaun Jackson, 1 for 30. Manningham, 1 for 10. And Doug Baldwin, 1 for 7. On defense, Michael Kendricks, the third-year man out of California, had 13 tackles. That is unbelievable as the starting middle linebacker. Kudos to him. Vontae Davis led the Bills with 4 tackles. Tackles for a loss. Vince Wilfork had 1. Justin Durant had 1 for the Raiders. Donta Hightower and Josh Robinson each kicked in 1 as well. Vince Wilfork had the sack. The interceptions both with Deshaun Weatherspoon of the Raiders and Shamarko Thomas of the Bills, getting his, I believe, 2nd interception of the season. Kicking the ball, Garrett Hartley was 1 for 1. Punting, Robert Malone kicked 2 for an average of 42.5. His average net per punt is -8, though, because of the Gino Castro return. Jacoby Ford had 3 kick returns for an average of 24 yards. Gino Castro 1 for 17, though his big return came on his 68-yard touchdown return. That was the first touch the Bills had all game, and was the difference. The Raiders got both offenses were ugly today, folks. The Raiders got a special teams touchdown. Or pardon me, the Raiders got a defensive touchdown. Bills got a special teams touchdown on the punt return. And all in all, it's probably a good one. That one's over. Ugly game, but hey, the game's done. The important thing is we come away with a win, and we're going to go into Monday's episode sitting pretty at the top of the division with a 9-1 record. We'll see you then, folks. Until then, I'm Tuxedo T-Shirt. Hope you have a great Friday, and I'm out.